Guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do The Silencer that came around. The Silencer from DC Comics issue number 1. The Silencer is one of the new characters that DC created for, a new age or whatever. And some characters worked, some characters didn't. This character for me worked because it was more, I don't know, grounded in reality, which is weird because normally I don't like characters that are grounded in reality. I like just more, the supernatural stuff. But my taste is very broad. But what they did with the Silencer is very cool. And when you see this, oh no, we have a token black character with short hair. She must be the social justice warrior and talking about pronouns and spouting socialist nonsense. No, actually not. It's basically, there's nothing like that here anyway. She is a normal woman with a normal life, and then shit happens. And I'm going to explain it all to you. So there is none of that here. And she had long hair before, and the reason why she's cutting it, I'm going to explain that too. So let's dive in, but before we're going to do that, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that. If you watch my videos and you like my content, please consider subscribing. It helps me a lot. And maybe you can leave a like on my video or say something in the comments. That would be great. Anyway, moving on. We have a cover here, but the cover is a little bit deceiving because what I didn't know is there is something inside here that I'm going to pull out. So this is a part of a bigger cover. I thought to myself, this is a poster, and this inside is some part of another event, but this is what the poster looks like. So we have here ninjas, and then we have the Silencer, and then we have, oh Jesus Christ, it's not gonna work. Then we have that she is standing on a pile of dead bodies, which is cool. So I believe these ninjas are, if I remember it correctly, League of Assassins. I'm gonna fold it a little bit back here. So okay, cool. I'm gonna talk to you a bit about that a little bit later. So we start here with the Silencer, who is not silencing here. She is a woman with her child, and she's buying pencils for her child, but she is being followed and identified or being spied on by an unknown person. So she puts a little boy back into the car, and then she hears the sound, and then there's a guy behind her, and he says, "You got a minute?" But she instantly recognizes who he is because it seems that she has, what's the word? She has a history, and the history is that she is, you know what? I'm going to tell you a bit later too. Why not? So anyway, she recognizes him, and she knows that he's a threat. And she takes his pencils, and she asks him, "What do you want?" And he says, "The Underlife knows who you are, and I'm here to bring you in." And she immediately attacks him, and then she uses some kind of a power, and there is some kind of a force field around her, but it's not really a force field. It's a silence bubble so that nobody around that area can hear what's going inside of the bubble. Only people inside of the bubble can talk to each other. And it seems that he is some kind of a, I don't know, cyborg or bionic man, because all of these cool looking electronics and devices and popping out of his arm and his chest, well, mostly out of his arm. And she says, if I'm not acting quickly, he has a personal shield and exponentially more strength, and then she's being, toast. So she attacks him immediately at certain key points. So very strategically, it seems that he has some cannons in his arms. So she dismantles it by, breaking the server relays, audio uplinks, so he cannot call for help or talking to his bosses. And also, and this is funny, the main power generator, which is in his crotch. But then coming back to the hair thing, what I mentioned earlier, she says, "I used to keep my hair short for a reason." Hey, that makes actually sense. Instead of, using that for a fashion or a statement or, dyeing your hair pink or blue and going on Twitter and mansplaining everyone how you are a toxic white man. Um, I'm just exaggerating. I mean, I know people with colored hair, they are cool and they don't bat you over the head with pronouns and socialist shit and that kind of crap because we don't have that here yet. So these people are actually normal. Anyway, moving on. So she is battling him, and he's breaking her ribs, and she's just keep dismantling him. And then at one point, she pulls a gun. She releases the bubble because she asks, "Why am I marked? You on the wrong side of the war, you filthy." And then she shoots him and then uses her force bubble. I mean, this looks great. I mean, John Romita Jr., who is the artist, for me, it's a hit and miss with his art. I don't like his recent art or his art in let's say, Spider-Man, I mean, or other comics. But there was one time that he was very, very good, very detailed, but he seems that he's become sloppy now. I don't know. I just don't enjoy his art anymore as much as I did. So she's going back to her kid, and the kid didn't notice anything. She said, "Hey, do you want something to eat?" And the kid says, "I want ice cream," and that's what he's getting. So she's going home. Oh, by the way, this is let's move on. That's so she's going home, and she's actually has a family, and she is married to a guy, and with Blake, she's married for 5 years, and she has her little girl. I believe a little boy called Ben, and like I said, they having a normal life, and that is what she wishes. And then she's going upstairs, and she actually thinks about cutting her hair. Then, out of nowhere, we have a surprise guest. And who is it? None other than Talia Al Ghul. Maybe you recognize her. She is once the lover or future wife of Bruce Wayne Batman. And they have a son together called Damian Wayne. And she is actually the daughter of Batman's foe, Ra's al Ghul. There's a lot of history between Batman and this woman. And I always liked Talia because I think she's a femme fatale. She's dangerous. She knows what she's doing. She's the daughter of one of Batman's greatest foes. It's incredible. And it seems that these two know each other. And what I did know that Silencer, her name is, you're never going to guess it, it's called Honor Guest. I mean, that's a fucking weird name. Honor Guest. That's her name. That's a real name, probably. So she calls her Honor, and Honor says, "Hey," to Blake, "Hey, why don't you go out to the car and take Ben with you and take all the stuff and his pencils and etc. And I'm gonna have a talk with Talia." And it seems that she explained, "Well, we are co-workers at one times, or we work together." And because it seems that Blake doesn't know the background or the history of Honor. I believe that she want to, don't want to expose her family to that life. So she never talks about it. And Blake doesn't know that she is actually I'm not sure, I believe she's an assassin. Not entirely sure, but we're gonna figure that out later in the comics. Anywho, so Talia is explaining to Honor that, before we do that, she says, "Talia, why are you here?" And she says, "We have an agreement that we're never going to see each other again." And Talia says, "Well, things are changing. I'm here to warn you." And I'm calling her Silencer. It's a little bit way better than saying Honor all the time. It feels a little bit weird. It sees that she says there's a power struggle in Leviathan and no one is safe. But she says, "I'm out of it. You let me go," and that's entirely true. And she says, "You are the only person I ever released from the underlife, and I did so gladly because you earned your freedom." But it seems that her enemies didn't respect her deal at all, and now they are all targets, including Talia. And she gives her a device. And she says also when and she said you're going to take the advice and get a haircut and an access to. But before she can, complete that sentence, Honor says, or yeah, it doesn't matter. Honor silencer, you know what I mean. She says, "This is the life I wanted. I don't want to go back to my other life." And Talia says, "I'm not asking you to. I'm telling you to that your old light is coming for you, whether you accept it or not." And then Ben and Blake is coming back, and they having their demeanors are going to change. And say, "Hey, we are cool. It's all fun and games." And then at some point, we go a little bit back to the I believe the bad guys, and they are waiting for the assassin called Killbox to return, and then they figured out that he is dead, and this guy is realizing the silencer has been reactivated and that they have found Talia Al Ghul. So silencer or Honor decides to bring Talia back to the airport. So they're going out in a car, but then the car is blown up by someone, and even Blake thinks, "Hey, what's going on?" So they are. I mean, the art looks great, by the way. So there are some assassins on the front door or somewhere there, and they want to kill Talia. And Talia says, "Well, why are you doing this? Because I trained you." And then these called a blood vessel and breacher. And breacher and blood vessel says, "Well, we have a better offer, and we're gonna take it." And he says, "Leviathan endures without you." So what is Leviathan? Leviathan is an organization found by Talia when she left Ra's al Ghul's League of Assassins, and their main goal is, taking over the society. They want to dismantle it. They are anti-capitalist, blah blah blah, and something like that. And they want to kill her, but then they heard the sound like shh, and they can't talk anymore. And then the last thing we see is Silencer in her full gear, blasting at these superpowered beings, and that's the end of this episode. And I must say, I really like the costume. It feels like a very flexible padded armor. It's very cool, and has also some kind of a visor that reminds me of the Destroyer from 4. It looks really, really cool. So I'm curious what this series is going to bring, because I have them all, every comic, even in some kind of a special, some annual. I'm going to check that out, and I'm going to see if it's worth it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave the video now, and see you next time.